It used to be something that I did to survive, and now it's like something that I do that I want to do as a career. My name is Joanna Gordon. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Hawaii Kai. My parents are journalists, so from a very young age I was around writers. I've been writing as long as I can remember. Like when I was little, I would make books and like stories and make pictures with the stories, and then somewhere around high school, I was a really big athlete. Somewhere along the lines, I just started writing in the back of like my school notebooks, and it was always about soccer. And I would write these letters to myself to like get in the zone for soccer, and then it started to become something where when I would be on the back of the bus, I would write in a journal like talking about how I felt after the game. If it was a bad game, if I did bad, I would like write about it, and it was very angsty. But that's kind of like where I started writing a lot, because that was the way for me to be able to deal with the pressure. I guess I started like being more of a writer, quote unquote, like around my junior year of high school. I was 16 and I tore my ACL. I had been like a hardcore athlete my whole life, never did anything else but soccer. I couldn't play sports anymore. I had a substitute teacher named Darren Canberra come into our class one day, and he performed a poem, like just did a slam poem in the middle of our class, and I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, this is so cool. And so when I tore my ACL, I remembered that he had did that poem and that he had did workshops. And then I went to my first workshop. I was on crutches. I had just had surgery. I was like sweaty from physical therapy, totally freaked out because I didn't know anybody there. And then that just kind of became my ritual. Ever since I started getting involved with that and slam poetry and spoken word, it's just kind of escalated. And then I met some of my best friends in my entire life, and none of them go to my high school, and I just like, man, that's how it changed. It just changed everything. Slam just captivated me in so many ways because it was so passionate and loud, and I was never a loud person. Like, not when it was not like a real loud, like not like an angry or a sad, like the emotions that these kids would show were so real, and like I wanted to do that.
Amy isn't your average gingerbread girl anymore. Maybe the extra dough around her hips didn't agree with her easy bake oven, and suddenly the mothers are questioning that extra waffle.
My freshman year, I went to University of Wisconsin, and then I started getting more involved with like more of like a spoken word theater. And that was totally a new experience for me because slam had so many rules. Like, your poem has no props, no costumes, no music, you and the mic, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, that's it. I had this Caribbean gay professor. He was an interesting character, but he would always just be like, I want you to converse with the space. Get involved with the corners of the room and talk to them. And I would just be sitting there like, what? So I would come up with something, and then I would like get to my class, and I'd say my piece, and this gay Caribbean man, like who obviously hated my work, would just like sit there, and this is how it would go. I would like bare my soul on stage, and then he would go like this. He'd be like, next. So for me, it was always just like, okay, I'm useless and nothing. Like, it was horrible, but I learned so much. I always thought that like performance and writing had rules, but really like none of it has rules, and that's the best part because it's always changing and evolving. And then I came back to UH, and then I started doing more page work, like more writing for the page instead of performance. Like, I love performance, and I love in the way that it challenges me to be expressive in a way that I've never been able to. It pushes me to be real. It pushes me to be honest in ways that not a lot of people see me. Page work and written work is like always where I've fallen in love because it's the way that I can communicate. And so finding a way to connect both of those things is where I'm at now, like using the page, but also using performance, like taking the past and moving into the future. workshops at Ilani schools for high school students every Wednesday, and it's connected with Pacific Tongues because every year we have an interscholastic poetry slam. It's very similar, I would say almost identical to the workshops that I attended when I was their age. And there's a lot of specific things that we do in the workshop space that make kids feel comfortable, because it's a really scary thing to share your work in front of people, especially your peers, especially high school peers. Like, it's terrifying. And those methods that we use, like, letting them know that there's no wrong answers, letting them know to use all 15 minutes, encouraging them to say a line, or just tell us what their idea was. Like, all those things makes them feel more comfortable sharing. And then once they realize that it's a non-judgment zone and that they can share, like, the confidence that you see when they have that is so cool. Like, I just like the idea of giving kids who don't fit in and are super nerdy and scared and don't know who they are a chance for them to write about it. I just want to give them that space, because for me that space was so critical to me understanding what kind of artist I was. I know that there's a lot of barriers across when it comes to writing, but I also know that just the act, it changes the way you think, changes the way you work.
Fashion designers would be forced to make a sample size fit for queens and I. It finally writes about women becoming women instead of gutted fish.